Action. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are good and welcome back to my show, Dr. Sana Show. And I am back with one of my favorite person who is there to help us and guide us about, the training pathways in UK and Ireland today. And it's about pediatrics training, how you can get it in UK and Ireland, both the CCT and the CSR training. That's the topic of our show. So my guest name is Dr. Lika Rahman. He's one of the senior registrar neonatologist in University Hospital Galway, currently working there. And he's also the general secretary of Association of Pakistan Physician and co-founder of Trainers for Ireland. Who is dealing with the positive career changes for non-training in Ireland. And he's also dealing with the campaigns like career progression, hurdles for non-scheme training in Ireland, critical skill permit issues, citizenship delays, stamp for rights for training. And also he's recently elected as a member for the NCHT committee in IMO. So let's welcome him. And Assalamu alaikum, Lika, how are you?
Walaikum salam, Dr. Sana. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your kind words and for me, and I'm really happy that I have a person like you that who is just bringing awareness especially in our Pakistani fellows that regarding their career in across globe. So yes, I say that I have been working in Ireland for the last 5 years, and I have explored each and every aspect, if I say, of pediatrics in Ireland and UK. I'm quite comfortable and confident to guide my junior fellows on time. According to their situation and circumstances, how they can go on and choose the pathway to become a consultant through specialist register either in Ireland or UK through different pathways.
Yeah. So the thing is, as you, Dr. Lika, as you're mentioning, the thing is that, when we were at their stage, I think we have done so many mistakes and in between. And I think the idea of my program is to guide the junior doctors and also the middle grade career doctors who are stuck up and struggling in different and juggling around, and they cannot find the way out. It's not only Pakistani doctors. I know few of the colleagues who are from different nations, and they really are struggling, and I've seen them. And I know few of my friends as well, they have been through a lot because they don't know, and in the end they just give up. So I think our idea of the program is that that you can avail your time and you can get a on spot guidance about that what you should do, and then you can choose yourself what you need to do. So let's come as we are living in Ireland, so I would say that we will go through our Ireland training about pediatrics. What's the way? I think the first thing that they have to do is the BST, and for that they have to they are 2 years. This is a 2-year training, and in that time they have to complete the MRCPI membership exam, and after completion, only with all the 3 parts, then they can go to the HST. So first of all, you'll discuss about BST in Ireland. Can you explain us about what they have to do for that to get it?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sana. I think you have already mentioned that the formal. There are 2 routes. Like to reach the specialist register and to become a consultant in Ireland. One is a formal training route, and the second one is a CESR, is an alternative certificate of the equivalency of specialist register route. So this is called alternate route. Let's come to the formal training route. So in Ireland, to get to the formal training route, so you need to complete 2 different training portions. What's the basic training and the other one is advanced training. So basic training is a BST, basic special training, and the second one is HST, higher specialist training. So basic training is 2 years extensive training program as a senior house officer, and they rotate every 6 months in different hospital in different specialties, and neonatology is one of the mandatory area they have to work along with general pediatrics. But to get to the BST or into the training, so you need to have an Irish Medical Council registration, and you should be on training specialist division. So luckily last year through legislation in 2019 on in IMC, so they have opened doors to the training specialist division. So anybody who is register with the Irish Medical Council can get a trainee specialist division via single email to the IMC, and you have to apply. But here is a problem, that the competition is quite tough. Training slots very minimal. I say 32, 33, but most of the time 50 and not more than that. And non-issue doctors, which include Pakistani doctors, they are at the bottom of the list unless you have an Irish passport. So that's where is the problem for you. So if any leftover seats for you, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, when first they will fill the Irish graduates, and then they will fill 3, 4 categories of the European graduates, and then your chance comes. So still, in the last couple of years, couple of my Pakistani fellows, they got the BST training. So, okay, so you get the BST training, which is quite competent, you finish it after 2 years, get a membership exams done. And after that, in Ireland, this is one of the things that I think a bit technical as well, that you have to search for higher specialist training again. So you have to compete in the same way for the higher specialist training in a separate, an effort. So once to get to the higher specialist training, you have a 5 years extensive and structured training in a different specialties and in a different cities. So once you are done with it, so you become a consultant. So basically it is 7 years altogether if you don't get a break in between basic specialist training and higher specialist training. So that is, I say, that is full training, formal training, pediatric.
And I would just mention, as you mentioned, the 34, 50 seats, that's the thing that the doctors are struggling. But the good thing is that people get BST, and I've seen as well some of the Pakistani doctors, Indian doctors, they get the BST training. So there is a light of hope. I know that previously, like if you're doing the normal NCSD post as well, it was accepted equivalent to BST, but now this is not happening. So you have to go officially into a BST training if you need an HST. But the HST issue is that they have only 22 seats, so that's the drawback, where we can't get the HST training, and that's why people are just struggling here. As you mentioned about the BSc training, yes, it is 2 years, and 6 months of neonates is mandatory, and the rest of it is like you can do 6 months in ED or 1 year in general Peds, and once you are done with your BST. But BST is one of the core training, and you can use that certificate also in UK. So it's not that you have done something and it will not be worthy enough. The other thing is that HST, as you mentioned, 5 years. I think in that, if you're doing the training in Ireland, if you want the complete training in Ireland, the neonates is for 1 year, and rest you can tell me. I'm not sure. And which hospitals, they are usually done. I think it's a level 3 training hospitals you can do, isn't it?
See, yeah, that is, it will be in the full details. I say 1 year level 3 tertiary care neonatology is mandatory, and then with that you have to rotate in general pediatrics and in other 2 subspecialties as well, and they are all in Dublin, and yeah, now they are in Cork as well and in Galway, but yeah, the major portion is in Dublin. And this is, if you are enrolled, you will get it. But if you're doing an alternate pathway, which I'll come to that, then you have to do your own struggle and to get it. But there are other shortcuts that you can get a specialist register of Ireland, to a UK specialist register, which is quite easy. So I say that.
Lika, can you mention the 5 years program? What are the important, like essentially like 1 year neonates, and what else they have to do to complete in 5 years?
The 5 years, this is a structured offered full plan. So 1 year, that is level 3 neonatology, and 2 6-month subspecialties. They are the mandatory part of this training. Subspecialties will be offered to you as per like your ranks and your your opportunity that you get. And with that, you'll be doing a general pediatrics and emergency medicine rotations. So this is a full, I say, and yeah, one thing I'm missing is a community pediatrics. 6 months community pediatrics is mandatory. 1 year level 3 neonatology is mandatory continuous 1 year, and then 2 other subspecialties. whatever is cardiology, rheumatology, whatever that you get a chance. So these are the mandatory part of the
So I
rotations.
think community pediatrics is mandatory and 1 year units is mandatory and 2 years special 2 year whatever you want ED or general pediatrics, right?
Separate 6
Yeah.
months, two separate rotations of subspecialties.
Mm.
So this is basically if you get a training 5 years, so you forget about like they will give you every rotation. You don't need to struggle. You need you know like efforts to find those things. You will just get it.
Yeah.
So the actual effort comes on the alternate route if you're doing in Ireland. So here you have to find those areas and those hospitals.
And now we will come to the alternate pathway in Ireland. So I think most of the Pakistani doctors, they prefer to do alternate pathway because it's very difficult to get HST. So we will discuss about how we can do and what we can do, how we can roll in, and what are the different hospitals you should go in Dublin. For neonates, for specialty trainings, and the specific, as he mentioned, that you have to do six months mandatory specialist like kind of training in like respiratory or cardio or oncology. So these are these are specialties that you have to rotate yourself. So we will come to that. So Lika, can you explain us about the alternate pathway? What is the shortcut?
I say that this is the you know like a major cohort, big cohort that lives in Ireland, and they follow that alternate route in pediatrics. And I say that there are two alternate routes. One is in Ireland, one is in the UK, and both of them are a bit different in a way, but the end product is a specialist register, and this is specialist registered to alternate route, and you can become a consultant, or you can enroll yourself as a consultant. And if you work as a consultant for an year, so you can get a fellowship FRCPI after MRCPI. So how you can go on that route, as I will come to the Ireland first. In Ireland, if you have done your membership, full membership, and you have done 2 years of SHO, senior house officer, just like a BSc trainee does. So you do yourself and you finish your membership. So then your experience of 5 years post membership starts. So in that 5 years post membership, rotations are same. So you have to do 1 year continuous level 3 neonatology. You have to complete 6 months of community pediatrics. You have to complete I say that two other subspecialties, six months each, whatever rheumatology, oncology, ED, even community pediatric is considered as a subspecialty as well. And then rest of the part you have to do in different hospitals. Some are recognized for 6 months, some are recognized for a year, or some are recognized for 2 years in general pediatrics or in ED. So 1 year full neonatology, continuous, 6 months community pediatrics, two different subspecialties, six months, and the rest of it is general pediatrics.
I just want to add on. There's some of the doctors like they were doing the alternate pathway, and they told me that if you're suppose you're working in a peripheral hospital and you're doing your parallel training, so suppose you're doing 1 year general peds, so it will be counted like if you're done with your 1 year, if you're doing the second year in the same hospital, it won't be counted. So that is very important to know, because then you will lost your other year. Suppose you are 1 year in Cavan Hospital or Wexford Hospital, then you have to rotate yourself next year for general pediatrics in different peripheral hospital. That is also important. And as we are talking about the neonates,
I will add on one thing in that one. You are absolutely right. So in Ireland, there are 3 levels of hospital: level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1 is usually recognized not more than an year. Surely I say. And level 2 is usually recognized for 2 years, but every year you have to change your supervisor with the condition.
Okay.
And that level 2 hospital,
Can you explain, because many of the doctors won't be knowing which hospitals are level 2 and level 3. So for level 2, do you know the hospital name, so it will be helpful for our colleagues?
Sure. So level 1 are the hospital in the small counties, and they are peripheral hospital with pediatrics, plus I say that a basic structure of the neonatology as well. more than 32 weeks in neonatology and general pediatrics. For any kid who is sick, there's no ICU in those hospitals for the children, so they have to be transferred either to the level 2 or the level 3. So level 2 basically have few subspecialties as well, along with more advanced structure in that hospital for the pediatrics and neonatology. So they take the neonatology up to 28 weeks instead of 32 weeks, which is in level 1, and they take the general pediatrics with some specialties as well. Level 3 is big cities, Cork, Limerick, I say a few hospitals in level 3, and for the pediatrics I'm talking, and the Dublin is the major portion that where all the level 3 hospitals are there.
Yeah.
They have advanced training over there. They have advanced structure equipment and people and all the subspecialties. So anybody and ICUs, every facility they have over there.
So I would just mention, like, what Waterford University Hospital is one of the good hospitals. I think it would be level 2 because now they're not taking less than 28 weeker of the neonates. And then like Galway Hospital is a level 2 or level 3?
It's level 2, and it's for pediatrics, I say. So maybe these cities are level 3 for the medicine, but we are talking about pediatrics specifically.
Yeah,
so this
we are
is
talking about pediatrics. Yeah.
So that's where I think
I think Cork is good. You can get many specialties. You can get neonates, you can get other subspecialties. And then you're talking about Dublin. Of course, you can get all the specialties, like you have Crumlin Hospital where you can get a subspecialties. And then you can get a ED specialty in Tala. And you have 3-4 neonatal hospitals like Rotunda, Holly Street Hospital. And I think Crumlin is also having the neonates now, right? Can do
no,
that.
that's neonatology hospitals, I think.
Coombs Hospital. Sorry, Coombs Hospital is the one. Yeah.
Holly Street and Rotunda. These are the 3 bigger hospitals, very old, and I say that they have the well structured, organized kind of over there in this hospital, those subspecialties. So then Cork is a level 3, and then also Limerick is being considered level 3 for 6 months. So these are the neonatology hospital. So I say that to wind it up, so in Ireland, to do an alternate pathway is a big struggle and effort. So you really struggle in getting a neonatology in level 3. That is a big struggle. And the other thing is that you have to drag your family every 6 months to 1 year in different hospital, different cities. So your family stability is the big problem, and your financial costs, especially in the bigger cities, big problem as compared to the UK one. I'll come to the UK one quickly. Up that the UK one is easy in that perspective, that if you get to know their documentation, which is not a big deal. People think that it's very difficult, but it is very structured if you understand it and you do a brainstorming in those documentation. So it's quite easy. Staying in Ireland, you can do it, and you can get a specialist register through UK pathway, which is a CESR, certificate of equivalency of specialist register. To that specialist register, you can convert the specialist register to Ireland as well. So I recommend that the UK staying in Ireland, do the UK alternate pathway, and I give you the rotations for that pathway. Very straightforward.
So we will talk about it. Yeah. So as you're telling about the Ireland one, so they can do the alternate pathway. But before we jump into the UK one, can you tell us that the documentation for the Ireland one, is it tough, and how they can, once they're done with the alternate pathway, how they can propose their all training thing in the RCPI? That's one of the question,
I think, Sana, that is the unless you are involved in this situation, then you're not aware. So there was a lot of ambiguity in the documentation in the pediatrics I'm talking about specifically. So initially they used to give BSc exemption certificate, those people who has done 2 years SHO and MRCPI, and with the BSc exemption you can even apply for HST even if you haven't done the BSc. That was going on in previously, but they suddenly stopped it. So now regarding documentation, so there was not a proper I say that kind of structured logbooks and kind of document. In pediatrics I'm talking about, maybe in other specialties there are something. So we ran a campaign, and our first motto was that to create a structured alternate route just like a UK one. So UK provides you all the guidelines for documentation, but Ireland there's no guideline. So there's no guideline. So you everything compile yourself, and there are packs that are available for IMC for the alternate pathway, but in training bodies, so it is not a universal that sometimes they will have to tell you you have to finish another 2 years. So it is sometimes 5 to 7 years. So that's
Oh my
where
God.
we are working hard now to get a universal or kind of standardized documentation in the Irish alternate route, and they are doing it now. From the good news is that the training bodies, which is National Doctor and Training Management Program, that's NDTP. So they have started taking our suggestions on board. Last year we proposed, and they are giving every NCHT wherever they are working in any field, they're providing them the standardized logbooks and the documentation, and this will be very good.
That's
So
a great
whenever,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, this will be very
So
good.
now we will
But
jump up. Now we will jump up to our UK thing. So we first come to the structured training. What do you say, CCT, and then
yeah,
we'll go to alternate. Yeah. So
yeah, I say CCT is CST in Ireland, and in the UK CCT, certificate of completion of the training. So, and there's another term that used to be, and now it's gone now. So CP combined, and I say that CCT that is starting from the ST1. So they have different levels after the plab and registration. So you saw ST1, ST2, ST3, and ST3, ST4. You have different structure here, and then you end up staying with the subspecialties and a consultant full specialist registry. But in Ireland, people used to do two different ways. So they either go to the ST3, from ST3 level, bypassing the ST1, ST2. They recognize your experience in Ireland if you have worked for 2 years as an ST1, ST2
yeah, I
equal,
think
and
that's a
then
great thing, because suppose we are working here in Ireland, so our whatever we are working, it's not lost and we can utilize it. And if you have done your exams like MRCPCH clinical, I'm talking about the pediatrics one. So if you have done that, and then you have done whatever experience you have done, you can utilize that, and you can straight away go into ST4 level as well. One of my friends, she went to ST4 because she was done with the clinical, and she was working as a registrar pediatrics in Ireland for 4 or 5 years, so it helped her. So in that way you can go in that, and from ST4, 5, 6, 7, after ST7 you are done, and then you will be a consultant. So
I
first of
give
all,
you the good
yeah,
news. I give you the
yeah,
good news. Previously, the people who used to opt through ST4 pathway after working in Ireland, they used to get a certificate which is called CP combined. Not is CCST CP, not the full CCST. So this is kind of partial CCT. So the people was having a problem in the Middle East in the recognition of this, as per them, that it is not a full from ST1 to ST7 training. So the campaign, I think, happened last year in UK, and through successfully, so they are awarded, and now they have started awarding all the people CCT, whether
okay,
you
that's a
have
great
started from
thing.
ST1. That's a great thing. Whether you have started from ST1, whether you have started from ST3, ST4,
Yeah.
you will be awarded as a full CCT, and that's a
I
great news.
Yeah, that's very important, because Lika, I know in Middle East, now they take, especially in UAE, in Dubai, people love to go to Middle East because of money and tax-free salary when you become consultant. So we'll come to that point once we are done with our session, that what you do when you are done with the training. So there's so much waiting for you. So let's come to the
Now
CCT pathway.
leftover, yeah. CT
Yeah,
pathway. Now leftover CCT pathway we have considered, and then we have considered the from ST4, which is the
yeah.
CCT combined pathway. Now leftover, one thing is the alternate route CESR, so certificate of equivalency specialist register, and I say that amazingly, it is well organized, well structured in UK. They do a lot of awareness on this side, on this pathway, and
Yeah.
amazingly and luckily, while staying in Ireland, you can done with it 5 years, and you can easily get the specialist register if you provide them that standardized documentation they require, and it is a fully uploaded guidelines on their website.
So can you tell our viewers that what, like, they go to the MRCPCH site or for to know the guidelines and how to go for the
I
alternate
said
pathway?
that's a shortcut and the good news. So you don't need a specific membership on the alternate route, either MRCPI, Irish membership, or MRCPCH. So
Okay.
alternate route to get to the specialist register, you don't need a specific degree.
You
And yeah,
Yeah,
if you
you're breaking good news in this channel now.
I
Three
have done
news in one go.
I have done a bit of brainstorming because I'm following that pathway actively and I have the full documentation. I can guide the people who can do it and very, I
Wow.
mean, comprehensive. If you know it, you can easily guide others.
So
So I tell you,
that's good. So I will repeat what he's saying. He's saying that if you have done MRCP Ireland pediatrics or MRCP CH, whatever you have done, if you are going to the alternate path with CESR UK, then both of the memberships are recognized. But for the CCT, you have to go for the UK that is preferred. This membership exams. Okay, now continue, Lika, what you're telling. Yeah.
I tell you how easy it is to do in Ireland. Because previously I discussed that how difficult the alternate route in Ireland it is and how easy as compared to the Ireland, the UK one is. So let's say, and there is another breaking news is that in Ireland, after the membership, you have to spend 5 years. But for the
Okay.
UK alternate route, that is not the condition. So you need to
Oh.
have 5 years of, I say, preferably registrar post in pediatrics plus membership.
All right.
Post will be preferred,
So
but
pre
pre will
or
also.
post. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another news. I think he's breaking news on news today. So he's telling us that if you're working as a registrar pediatrics in Ireland and you have done MRCP CH UK or MRCP Ireland, whatever is your experience will be counted for the training of the CESR UK. So it means that you don't like, it's not that you have to be postgraduate, you're pre-graduate. Like if you are done with part 1 or part 2, but you're working as a registrar, so that experience or like 1 year, 2 year, it will be counted to get your CSR UK. So we will elaborate more, Lika, about it. Let's go.
Yeah, I think you have mentioned it. It is kind of awareness, I say. So if it is a good news for the people, it will be breaking news for them because people don't know much detail about it. And in Ireland and UK, so Ireland, UK one is quite easier. Now I come to the rotations now, and you will be surprised that for the UK, rotations are very simple. Documentation is very much structured and standardized. In different domains, you have to fulfill the documentation, but the rotations are very simple. So how it is, 3 months you need a community pediatrics, 3 months you need safeguarding or child protection, even 6-7 summaries you need, and then you need 6 months of level 2 neonatology, not level 3 even, level 2 neonatology.
Okay. So that's really I think good news for all the listeners who are watching our show, I would say.
And the rest of it, so how much it becomes? Hardly 1 year. So 3 months community pediatrics, 3 months safeguarding child protection, and 6 months in level 2 neonatology. So 1 year. The rest of the 4 years, you can even spend in one hospitals along with family stability and social life, and fill the documentation for the next 4 years in general pediatrics, and it will be accepted.
And is it mandatory to do any subspecialty in CSR UK?
No.
Okay.
Just general pediatrics 4 years. That's it.
Even general pediatrics 4 year. Oh, I
4
didn't
years.
know about that. Okay.
One hospital, even in one hospital, sitting in one hospital.
Okay.
Very hospital. It is accepted unless you provide all the documentation, standardized documentation, what they have. So as compared to Ireland, you have to drag your family everywhere. You have to do subspecialties. You have to do everything. But in UK one, sitting in Ireland, in 2 cities, you have to move for neonatology, or especially in with general pediatrics, all the periphery hospital, almost all also give you the opportunity of community pediatrics as well. So you can finish it. And that's where, if you prefer your family stability, your social life, you want to stay here for 5-6 years, waiting for the passport or something, you can rotate through that part.
And
and
can
you
you
can
can
get a
you
specialist
can you
register.
elaborate about safeguarding? Because I know many of the people would be thinking how to do that safeguarding. I know community pediatrics also, if they're like how they can do. I know some of the hospital they have doctors, the consultants who are doing community clinics. But can
Yeah.
you mention those hospitals and also about the safeguarding thing? It will be helpful for our colleagues.
I say safeguarding is basically they need a 6 to 7 somebody because UK has the toughest child protection laws. So they need a certified, their documentation also has a grades from level 1 to level 3 grades. And these grades depend upon your document advance and structure of your documentation from I say that formal level 1 will be a documentation that you have assisted something, level 2 that you performed under observation, and level 3 that you have done independently in under any domain that you have to fulfill those documentation. So regarding safeguarding, you need 3 different levels of documentation on any like that case that involved with the child protection issue. You
Okay,
know what I mean?
okay. And it can
Any
be
kind of case,
easily done in any hospital, right?
any hospital,
Yeah.
you need is 7 summaries.
And
So, but
mhm.
there are a couple of hospitals in Ireland where there are dedicated people for child protection, especially where I'm going to Portugal University Hospital. There is a person, consultant, who is specifically,
Mhm.
has an area of
Mhm.
specialty in the safeguarding. So if you work with, you can easily get 6 times somebody. In other hospital as well, you can get it.
Hmm.
So specifically,
So I
yeah,
I think I think Dr. Lika summarized it very beautifully about the CCT and CSR UK, and I think it will be a great help because I think many of the people were not knowing things that I think you have told, and they don't know that deeply. And I think the problem is that people are not guided well. They just know that it's CCT or CSR, but they are not knowing. Like I learned a lot today. I know few of the things, but you add on my information, and I think it's a really helpful video for those who want to do pediatrics training and want to be a consultant. And in the end, I would say that if you are if you want to be a consultant after completing your training, of course you can have there are golden opportunities in Ireland and UK for being a locum consultant and also the permanent consultant as well. And then if you want to go to Middle East, the pay is way high and it's very good. Like you can get 40,000 real or dirham per month, tax-free salary, I would say. You can get your family tickets back to Ireland if you're Irish citizen or you're UK citizen. Then you will get your accommodation free, rent free. So schooling, if you're like your kids want to go to British school because you're Irish or UK citizen, you will get all that things there. So I think it's good way. If you want to work in UK and Ireland, that's your choice. But if you want to go to Middle East, that's one way. And if you want to go to Australia and Canada, I think you can go easily through specialist pathway recognition, and they recognize the CCT training I would mention, but I'm not sure about the CSR if they
they do
accept it
it.
or no. Yeah, they
They
do.
accept it. So they do the, yeah, I know my colleagues who has gotten, like the effort. So one thing I give you, so if you get a specialist register, either UK or Ireland, so you can interchange anytime. So if you have a UK one, you can interchange with Ireland as well. So
Mm-hmm.
this is how people are doing. So let's say if you have got a specialist register and you are working as a locum consultant even or a consultant for a year, so you can apply for the fellowship. So they will give you a fellowship. So you don't need to do any exam.
All
So it
right.
you will be awarded FRCPI. So
Mm-hmm.
you can apply to Australia, you can apply to New Zealand, and they will do a comprehensive assessment of your alternate pathway. And if you fulfill their criteria, you will get a specialist register of those countries as well. Is
All
so
right. Okay.
so yeah. So yeah,
So
I know many of my colleagues.
mm-hmm. And is it easy? Right.
Yeah, if you have
Okay.
done the specialist register pathway,
Mm-hmm.
so basically that people want a stability. So once they are done with it, so they just stay at one place, and they, because of your
Mm-hmm.
children are growing and all
Yeah.
these things, so they want to stay at one place, so
Okay.
people don't move. And
Yeah.
that's what we hear.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lika, for your time. And we will finish the session. And the next video is very important because I know many of our colleagues want to move to some other specialties as well. And we're going to discuss that one in our next segment. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope it has given some information to our colleagues and who are watching it us in Pakistan, Ireland, UK, around the globe. Please share this video to all your friends and colleagues so they can get the good guidance for the training, and take care of yourself. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.